A concept I have not heard of before. This is crafting according to the weather. Every day brings a new temperature, a new color, and a new layer to this kind of project. If you knit or crochet, you might know about the temperature blanket. Sarah Freeman has been working on temperature crafts recently. It's great to see you, my friend.
Thank you. Great to be here.
I don't knit, I don't crochet, so this is an all-new concept to my ears. What is a temperature blanket?
So, to be honest, I did not know what a temperature blanket was either.
So I was not alone in that.
No, but it is a thing. It's like, if you go onto Pinterest, you can search temperature blanket, and there's tons of things out there about temperature blankets.
Okay.
So basically, the rundown is you're crocheting a blanket or knitting, depending on your expertise.
It works with either
way,
medium.
You pick your pattern, and you're going to crochet this blanket over the course of an entire year. But you're just doing a little bit every day. And the catch is, it's dependent upon the weather. Your color choice depends on the weather for the day.
So Kevin Eubank is helping us craft.
He is. I know. You need to watch him every night to get your high temperatures.
So this chart kind of breaks down how that weather affects our color palette?
So this is my color chart. I picked these colors. I went to Hobby Lobby, picked out these colors, and then created kind of a temperature range for each color.
So I'm assuming you want the colors to coordinate.
You do. It doesn't really need to. You can kind of just do colors you like.
Okay.
I wanted it to start off a little cooler. So like in the colder weather, like there's like a purple,
So
blue.
Literally, when it's cool outside, 10 degrees.
I wanted my colors to be cooler as well.
But when it's warmer, like 60, 70 degrees, you're reaching for the more vibrant yellows.
Then we've got, so like it's been 80s, so I've been able to use some pinks lately, which I love. I love when I get to use a new color.
Okay, so time out. Are you kind of bummed when you're looking at the forecast and you see the temperature that's predicted to be the next day's weather?
Do.
And it doesn't work with your pattern?
I honestly do. That is like a thing. I'm like, come on, get to the 70s today. Come on.
It's like a lottery roll.
We can do it.
It's like a jackpot.
And I didn't even get to use some. It was such a warm winter this year that like I didn't even get to use purple, which I am bummed about.
You wanted 10-degree days.
No, I kind of did. Just
you were
for
the only person out there praying for 10 degrees.
I know. Just at least one. Just one purple one would be good for me.
So literally that dictates the color that you work into the pattern that day.
So I just make my pattern. I decided I wanted to do a granny hexagon for my pattern. So I just make one a day.
What makes it a granny hexagon?
I don't know why they call them. They call granny squares. Granny squares are a hexagon, or a thing you crochet, like a square that you connect to other squares.
Okay.
So a granny hexagon is just in the shape of a hexagon, and you can do other colors inside. I am just doing solids for this one, but I make one a day, and then I just stitch it on each day too. So I like stitch it onto my blanket so that I don't get lost. If I saved them all up, I would get lost onto what color went where.
Here's what amazes me though. It looks on purpose. This pattern looks on purpose.
It kind of does.
It just worked out that way?
It flows. Well, because you're starting with cooler, and because I did kind of do my rainbowy kind of pattern, it kind of does gradually get cooler to warmer. There's like a little weird orange strip right here. And this, the little OCD in me sort of goes crazy with this strip. But we were in California, and I decided to do my color based on where we were staying for the night.
You know what though? I love that even more, that there's a meaning to it. This is your year.
It is. It's kind of a journal, if you will.
Okay.
And to make it even a little more personal, I actually bought this silver, it's like really thin.
This is amazing.
And it has little sequins in it. It's really pretty. But
yeah, it's like disco.
On special days, so like for my kids' birthdays, or if like a graduation or a holiday, I incorporate the silver. You can kind of see it in some of these. I incorporate
a scrapbook.
Yes, the silver in, so that I can kind of remember where we were, what we were doing, what time of year it was.
I love it.
Just kind of personal.
Now I set this up not just as a temperature blanket, but the concept of temperature crafts.
Yes.
So how does this expand across the art forms?
So if you start kind of thinking about it, any crafting that you're interested in. So if you love beading, if you love embroidery, quilting would be great for this. Anything can kind of lend itself to making a temperature craft of sorts.
Okay, like watercolor. How would that work out?
Watercolor. So I actually have a couple of examples back
yes,
here.
You do. Yes, you do.
So like this one, I made a really big chart. So this one it's not 365 because that didn't go in evenly. That's not an even number for how
we're not going to count.
But it's pretty close. So with this, I just similarly made a color chart. one a day. I made my big grid, and then I've been erasing it as I go along. This one is just a smaller version. This is actually only 90 days worth. So you could make like 4 and kind of hang them like in a square on your wall.
What about the yarn?
So this is just a yarn art. This is like the easiest thing there is. You just cut a piece of yarn and glue it on. That's it.
Oh my gosh.
So this is probably like 3 months worth.
I want to pet it. I love this.
You can.
You could frame it. It could become that kind of quirky piece.
But wouldn't that look fun to have like 4 of these together over the year? And you created it. Super easy, but it's like kind of personal and something you made.
And the pom-poms, same idea?
This is just the month of January from this year. So this is actually the beginning of January, and then it just goes up and it gets a little warmer. That was a little warmer. It got a little cold right here in the purple.
Okay, I bet the randomness of this for you as an artist, you as a crafter, is kind of fun. The unpredictability of these projects.
It really is. I kind of love to see like when you get a little random thing in the middle, although it does sort of make me crazy too.
There is
a
moments.
little bit where I'm like, oh, that kind of messes up my...
orange days and you're thinking, I didn't need it to be 80 today.
Yes.
Now I understand this has turned into sort of a family affair.
It has. So my mom is actually the one who suggested this to our family. And she was the one who said she wanted me and my sisters-in-law to try to do this together. And so we were all on board, but then one of my brothers got a little jealous that the boys weren't invited. So they are doing it too. You can see my cute sister. That's my sister-in-law, Joanna. My sister, Caitlin, was the one before. There's my mom.
And she kicked it all off.
She did.
Cute mama.
So she's the brains behind this. That's my husband.
Guys, what's his name?
Josh.
Josh, look at you go for it.
My sister-in-law, Brittany.
So now it's become a challenge, like a family
It kind of has. But it's also a really good, it's kind of a stress reliever at the end of the day. My husband and I, this is kind of funny. Maybe we're like that old person couple, but we get our kids to bed. And then we go sit on the couch. We get out our crochet.
And you make your granny hexagons?
I make my hexagons. This one is actually his. So he had never crocheted in his life.
Josh, good job.
So I taught him just a basic double crochet, and he's like a rock star at it. So
talk about a couple hobby.
Yes, well, and these are actually, I must give credit to. These are all some of my family members as well. They let me borrow them.
Thank you for introducing us to the idea. It was new to me. Maybe some of you have heard about it at home, but I think just the variety of projects you introduce and also the family challenge idea.
Yes,
I'm just smitten with that. It's so fun. Where can we track more of your creative projects?
You can find me on apricotpolkadot.com. You can also find me on Instagram at apricotpolkadot.
That name is almost as cute as she is, right? It almost rhymes. Apricot polka dot.
Apricot polka dot.
Rolls right off the tongue. Thank you so much. Really fun. Love the blankets. Tell your family nice job.